Welcome everyone. I'm Amy. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner and I'm an NPC bikini competitor. And this is my week 19 reverse vlog or improvement season vlog. I do not have any feedback from my coach this week to share. If there is any, I'll insert it at the end when I talk about my check-in that I sent to him, but he's traveling this week and really close to a show. He's doing a show at the end of the week and then he's got the Arnold in like 2.5 weeks. So I totally get it. I don't think there would be any changes anyway, so I'm just gonna roll on through to this week. I do have one update to share since my check-in last week. I definitely had some additional soreness. I talked about my quads being really sore, I think, but man, after my really intense tricep day yesterday, my triceps are really sore too, which is great. So I am loving the additional different stimulus that this upper focus session is giving me, or this upper focused meso, that's a tongue twister, and enjoying that I'm getting some different muscle stimulus and just kind of working my muscles in a different way. And it's all really exciting. So that's been great. No changes to my macros. I'm still feeling very satiated and putting the food in, weight's slowly creeping up as I know it will. So that's all good. So this coming week, it is gonna be, I know I say this a lot, and yeah, it's February, it's freezing, but man, we are in for another really big Arctic blast with every time I look at it, the low temperatures get lower. At first it was 10 and then it was 9. This morning it was 5. So it's going to be a really cold, snowy, unsettled week. And I have a lot of things to do to get ready for the Arnold. If you guys caught my last video, I did a TikTok haul, and yes, this is the ballet shrug from the TikTok video. And seriously, look at these sleeves. They are so long. It's amazing. And it's really nice and cozy. That fleece lining on it is just so nice and warm, and it's really comfortable. So I may place another order if I could get a few things here in time. The other colors of these I think I would like to get, and then maybe even another set of leggings just so I have a couple of pairs to work out in and also to go to the expo in. One thing I did not mention in my shopping haul or about those leggings is I would definitely not call them squat proof per se. They are a really nice, soft, buttery, smooth material, but they're not super thick. They're plenty thick, but if you really put stretch on them, they might be sort of sheer in bright light. So just for those of you out there who are really concerned about that, it's never something that concerns me. I mean, unless you're wearing something that is extremely sheer, I don't find it to be an issue, but I know that's something that a lot of people look for or search for or ask for. I would not put them in the category of squat proof for sure, but they are, in my mind, far more than enough coverage. I don't feel weird about wearing them. I mean, you saw me posing in them. I don't, it was totally fine, but they're not super thick. So if you're looking for a really thick, really compressive legging, those are not the ones, especially if you kind of size down in them to make them tighter. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that if that's something that concerns you. Other than that though, loving all the stuff I got from TikTok still, and will probably place another order, especially if it can get here in time. The other order that I got shipped really quickly, so I hate to admit that I am a fan of TikTok Shop, but so far it's been good. Other than that, I need to start doing some packing. I've got my packing list all ready because, in my world, I leave in 2.5 weeks for the Arnold. So that's going to go really fast, so fast, especially because this coming week at work is just crazy busy for me, which is another reason I'm just going ahead and recording this intro before I have heard back from my coach, because I may not have another chance. So doing it now. Yeah, I think that's all I've got for the intro. Super excited to hit this second week of the meso, get those upper body bro style gains, and keep enjoying the kind of different stimulus I'm getting, eating all the food, doing all the Arnold prep. I'm probably gonna prep some, if I do any of the cookie dough prep and I'm able to film some of it, I will. That would be fun, I think, to see. Oh, and also the one other thing I wanted to do in this video was maybe bust or talk about some things that frustrate me in the nutrition world, specifically around protein. So if I get around to that, I think that would be an interesting thing to kind of insert or to have coming up as well. So for now though, thank you all so much for joining me on this week 19 for whatever is coming next. If you have any questions about anything from my last video or any of my other TikTok haul items, let me know in the comments below, and I will see you here and whatever comes next. All right. So I mentioned in my intro that I wanted to talk about something nutrition related in this vlog, and it's something that is maybe one of my biggest pet peeves in the nutrition world. And that is things being marketed to people, especially, and I feel like these are specifically usually targeted to women, as being healthy and high protein. And of course, usually they are touted as something being good for like workout recovery or to optimize your workouts. So I'm not trying to shout out this vlog in any way, shape, or form, but I did just want to let's just break this down. So this was actually something that was recommended to me on my Google feed, were these 5-ingredient edible protein cookie dough recipe. Like, ooh, that sounds fantastic. Like protein cookie dough. Let's take a look. So we're going to jump to recipe. So we see here 5-ingredient protein cookie dough is a healthy, gluten-free, and dairy-free treat packed with protein. Okay, packed with protein and sweetened with maple syrup. Ready in minutes. It's perfect for a post-workout snack or healthier dessert. Those two things in my mind are probably not interchangeable. I would not have the same thing for a dessert as I would for a post-workout snack or a post-workout meal. But let's just take a look at it. See what goes into these. So we have here 3/4 cup almond flour or oat flour. Now the macros on those are going to be completely different. One is almost entirely fat. The other one is almost entirely carbs. Then some protein powder, maple syrup, coconut oil, chocolate chips, and a little bit of milk. So let's do this. Let's copy these ingredients. And we are going to put these into MyFitnessPal and see what the macros on these are. Okay, so here we are in MyFitnessPal. If you are not familiar with MyFitnessPal, it's just a macro tracker, but you're able to put in your own recipes. So we're going to create a recipe and we're going to enter ingredients manually. Oh, what was this called? Protein cookie dough? We'll see about that. And I did not see the number of servings, so we're just going to take the whole thing and put it in as one, and then we will break down what goes into it. So here are the ingredients. Let's see what MyFitnessPal finds for us here. It's going to match them. Okay. Oh, it needs servings. Let's say 5. I think it may have been 5. Okay. So it looks through its, database and it finds everything. So yep, we got the maple syrup, we got the milk. It picked almond flour, so we'll just go with that. That was the primary recommendation. The coconut oil, the vanilla whey protein powder, and then the chocolate chips. So we're going to say next. And this is going to give us the breakdown of what this would be. So if there were 5 servings, if you made this and there were 5 servings, let's just take a look and see how many servings did they say it should make. Oh, they said 8. Okay. So, well, first let's see what it was for 5. So for 5 servings, each serving would have 217 calories. There would be 17 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fat, and 9 grams of protein. So this is and this is a fifth of it. And they're saying a serving is actually 8. So let's change that to 8. Okay, so when we do that, that drops it down to 136 calories, 10 grams of carbs, 8 grams of fat, and 6 grams of protein. So you tell me, is this a protein-packed anything? 6 grams of protein, that's less than you're going to get in an egg, or round about what you would get in like a medium-sized egg. That egg would actually have a lot more nutrients. It would have no carbs. Oh, sorry, I had that back. Yeah, and then the fat would be lower as well. So let's do that. Let's just pull up. We'll go all the way back to the beginning here. We're going to just search for a food. How do I do that? Let's go to the diary. Let's add in an egg. So 1 large egg has no carbs, 5 grams of fat, and 6 grams of protein. So that recipe is giving you twice as much fat as an egg and a little less protein and some carbs. That is far from a protein-packed treat. And like I said, it's especially frustrating me because I feel like this is almost always targeted toward women, and specifically women who want to eat plant-based. I find this to be especially egregious in that realm. So let's look at one other recipe that has also popped up recently on my Google feed. And this one is here's our edible protein cookie dough that we've decided is not the perfect post-workout snack. Like, not even by a long shot. This is definitely not what I would recommend somebody eat post-workout. Basically all fat and nothing else. So let's look at this one. So this is for no-bake post-workout Snickers cookie. Now, it does say cookie in the name, as did the last one, so you can assume that this would be a treat, but it says high protein. High protein post-workout is what it is being marketed as. So what goes into this? What did we do here? Let's get back to this recipe. Jump to recipe. Okay, here we go. So this has dairy-free yogurt, plant-based protein, maple syrup, roasted peanuts, peanut butter, and chocolate chips. Again, we have something that has very little protein powder, or very little protein. 2 tablespoons of protein powder is probably, with most proteins, like half a serving at best. So you're looking at maybe 12 grams of protein. You've got a tablespoon of nuts and a tablespoon of peanut butter. So that's 2 tablespoons of nuts, which is going to be 15 grams of fat, plus the chocolate chips, which is another 6 to 8 grams of fat. So now we have basically just all fat. We have a little bit of, like a tiny little bit of maple syrup, so a little bit of carbs, and then whatever random macros, I'm guessing just carbs in the dairy-free yogurt. This to me does not shout post-workout, or, I mean, are these healthy enough ingredients? Sure, but are they actually helpful or beneficial? Let's scroll up and see what it says about this Snickers cookie. There's a picture of it. Even here we see 1 serving, so that is all meant to be 1 serving, has over 350 calories, protein, like I said, 12 to 15 grams, basically no carbs because it's all fat. And that says 9 to 11 grams of fat. Well, that is absolutely not accurate. If you are having, well, here, let's put this one into MyFitnessPal also and see what MyFitnessPal says about this, because I think her macros are off. So let's copy this. And we'll do the same thing again. We're going back to MyFitnessPal. All right, so we're back at MyFitnessPal. We are going to go back to recipes. We're going to create a recipe, enter ingredients manually. So this was a Snickers cookie, or we'll call this a protein cookie. Protein cookie, sure, 1 serving. Okay, let's get these ingredients in here. Paste our ingredients. Let's say next. It is thinking. All right, so we got everything in here. So, okay, it says 348, so I was pretty close when I said 350 calories. Let's do next so we can see what the macros break down on this. Ah, there we go. This is accurate. Now we have 33 grams of carbs, 22 grams of fat, essentially, and 18 grams of protein. So this is getting better on protein. I would still say minimum, even a very small woman following a workout would want to get at least 20 grams of protein, hopefully closer to 30 or 40 if they had a really hard workout. The carbs amount I'm okay with. Like, I would do a minimum of 25 to 50 grams of carbs, again, depending on the person and the workout. But the 21.5 grams of fat, that's a lot for right after a workout in my world. And again, your goals may be different, but my point being, is this truly a high protein thing or a great option for post-workout? Like, I would argue no. So let's get back to, let's get back to the beginning here, and let's take a look at, what might be, like, we could put something in, let's do a post-workout meal. So we're going to add food here. And something that I commonly will have after a workout is a protein shake. So I would do some blueberries, almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, a scoop of protein powder, and some rice cakes. Okay. So if we look at all those things, that has 231 calories, but that's a lot of food. That's really a good amount of food. And if we look at the breakdown of what that day is, let's get rid of the other foods that are on there. Let's get rid of this, just so we can see what just these macros are. So that would be 26 grams of protein, 22 grams of carbs, and 3 grams of fat. So basically no fat. And the really easy way to adjust that, if you needed more carbs, would just be, that's only 2 rice cakes, which is what the serving size on the container says. But we wanted more because we had a really hard workout. So we're going to have 4. Or, so we add the 4, instead of doing the 4 rice cakes, let's add a little bit, like a half a banana on those rice cakes. We're going to pick banana. We're going to change that to half a banana. So there's another 15 grams of carbs. So now if we look at that for what that meal is, now that post-workout meal is still the same amount of protein, but now we have 36 grams of carbs, which is pretty ideal. We were looking for somewhere between that, like probably 30 to 50 grams of carbs, still 3 grams of fat. There's a healthy post-workout meal that's real food and far more filling probably than that Snickers cookie that also then has maybe half of your daily fat intake for the day. If you're a very small woman, you may only be having like 50 to 70 grams of fat a day at most. And that's, you ate half of it in your Snickers cookie. That to me, this is where we all make choices. We all decide how we're going to spend our macro bank for the day. But more than anything, I think what really frustrates me is just, like I said, the marketing around, or the targeting to women that, these are healthy options for post-workout or for high protein. Because as we saw, these treats are neither. And we're back. It is the end of the week. It was freezing, and now it's snowing again. So here we are. I feel like it's snowed, I don't know, every day this week. We had a really freaky thing happen. So we had well below 0 temperatures. Wind chill was even worse all throughout the week. And then Friday, I was at the office and I'm like, what is that noise? Is that rain? It was raining. And now it's snowing again. So I don't know what the weather's doing, but that's not why you're here. You are not here for the meteorological report. I am not one of those. You are here to hear about how my week went and my check-in for next week. So I did get feedback. Let's actually pause that. Let's talk about my nutrition rant, as I called it. Something I did not say in that is I see no problem with treating yourself ever. My only issues with those things is that they are targeted to women, I feel like specifically, and they send a very inappropriate message about what protein intake is, and specifically around post-workout, and that's what I find so frustrating. So all that said, you could basically have a big serving of ice cream instead of eating that Snickers cookie for the same macros, or a full meal. I showed that even my post-workout with just those few things in it was still far less calories, way more protein. Actually, we're gonna help you recover and build muscle. You're not gonna build a whole lot of muscle if all your post-workout meals have 6 grams of protein and 20 grams of fat, and you're gonna wonder why. So, rant over. If you have questions, let me know. I would love to do more of those too. If you have recipes you want me to break down or take a look at, send them to me. I'm a nutritional therapist. This is what I do. So let's talk about my feedback from Aaron. At the beginning of the video, I had not received my check-in feedback from him yet, just through some type of technological glitch. So I did reach out to him when I sent my check-in on Thursday of this week. I just sent him a quick note, I just submitted my check-in. I haven't gotten feedback from last week, which is fine. No need to respond this week either because he was getting ready for a show, which is actually happening today. But just want to make sure he was getting them. That was really the more important thing. I want to make sure that he was actually seeing them and didn't think that I was not checking in. And he right away responded, and he said, if you don't hear from me in 48 hours, let me know. But he had done the video, it just hadn't sent it. It didn't go through. He was leaving for Texas when he recorded the video, and I think he probably maybe got disconnected from his Wi-Fi or something happened, so the video didn't go through to me. So it was great. So it was a short check-in, but he went over everything. He really went over my physique as well and kind of looking at some of the things that we can continue to work on bringing up. I did get the estrogen cream. I can't remember if I said that in the beginning or not. Last Friday, so I've been using it for a full week now. And interestingly enough, something I noticed just today, that I will talk about when I talk about my check-in for this week, is that I definitely feel like some body composition changes, and I'll talk more about that when I talk about my check-in. But he said everything was looking great. He was pleased with said, hopefully we'd see another half a pound or so of body weight increase. And I think that's about what I gained over the week. Let me look at my progress data. I think I can see that there. I don't know where everything is on the app. I'll go back to the homepage. Last 15 days, there we go. So yeah, so if I look at the last 15 days, my weight, so 2 weeks, my weight is from check-in to check-in. And of course my weight goes up and down throughout the week. So these are not the average. This is not my total average for the week. It's just literally on that check-in day, which is not the most accurate way to track your weight, but whatever. But up about 1.5 pounds. So that's perfect. I was hoping I would get gain another little half pound, which I did this week. So that's all good. He was happy to hear that I was liking the training, and he gave me some more tips about how to make sure I'm getting in bed in time. Because as I've stated many times, I don't have issues with sleeping per se, although last week I had some pretty rough sleep. It's more just not giving myself enough time to sleep. And last night is a good example of that. I got about 6.5 hours of sleep. It was really high quality, but that is not enough. And there's no excuse for that. So that is on me. That is something I'm continuing to work on. So yeah, so he did send feedback and it was great. And there wasn't a lot to say and there were no changes. So it was perfect. So it wasn't like I had missed out on anything that he'd wanted me to change throughout the week, which was great as well. So that was super, super good to get and easy to implement. And that was on the same day that I sent my check-in for this week. So let's talk about my check-in for this week. And I do have some check-in photos and you will see there is a new one. We'll let these ones sit up there for a second. And then I'm going to put 2 front poses up. These front poses are bikini, and I'm trying out the fit model. And this is rough. I've never had anyone actually give me a tutorial aside from what I've seen online. And I was just kind of playing around with it while I had my suit on. So it's different. I feel like it's, yeah, if I decide to pursue fit model once my suit gets here and I, decide that that's a category I definitely would like to pursue, I'll definitely get, an actual coach to show me how to pose this correctly. But for now, at least, that's what it was. So that was interesting. I did do some posing this week, but I did not have my heels with me. But I decided, I can't let that stop me. Just because I don't have my heels, I can still practice my routine. So I did do that. I did take some footage of it, but my camera angle is bad, so I'm not going to insert that here. It's just not all that helpful for you guys to see that. So just because I was wearing my gym clothes and had not heels on, it's not really all that helpful. It was really just for me to run through the movements. So I did get posing in. That was good. I also did some mobility this week, which was also good. That was one of my goals from last week. So let's talk about what I sent Aaron for my check-in this week. So, oh, nope, I didn't want to do a new check-in. Nope, I want to look at my previous check-ins. There we go. Don't start a new check-in. All right, so first question is digestive issues, none. Second one, how am I feeling overall well-being? I said feeling good. Definitely feeling the weight gain and body changes this week. I'm much softer overall and clothes are tighter everywhere. And that is something I really noted this week was just I feel, and especially in my upper body, and a lot of it is because, as I mentioned, we're in an upper body focused mesocycle and I'm feeling like it in my sports bra, which is good, right? I'm trying to grow these muscles. So the fact that I am getting feedback from my body that things are growing, is a good thing. There's a lot of things that happen when you train a new body part. It's going to have a little bit of inflammation. It's not like you put on tons of fat right away. So clothes are tight everywhere. One thing I did not mention in my check-in to him, but I'm going to mention now, as you saw in my check-in photos, I was wearing a bikini suit bottom and not my posing suit, because I have gotten a little too big for my posing suit bottoms to look appropriate. So I threw on my old my Toxic Angels suit bottom from a few seasons ago because they were a little bit big. So shocking, right? I actually had a suit that was too big on me, not 8 sizes too small. So they fit perfect. So that was great. So I felt a lot more comfortable doing my check-in photos in those. My posing suit bottom has definitely gotten far too tight. And I will explain that to Aaron on my check-in for next week because I forgot to include it in this one. But clothes are definitely tighter everywhere. And like I mentioned previously, the softer feel, I think actually part of that is hopefully a sign that my estrogen is coming back up. And hopefully the estrogen cream is helping with that, but also maybe just giving it time. It has been 19 weeks now post-show, so hopefully my estrogen levels are starting to come back up. And I am going to have my labs drawn again, but just wanted to kind of give a chance for me to see some changes in what potentially could be some positive hormonal changes before I go get my labs drawn again and just see that they're the same. Like I said, I don't want to stress myself out about it too much. But one of the things I definitely noticed this week a lot, and it's normal, right? Estrogen is one of the main things that drives the formation of cellulite. So that's why women, like 90% of women have cellulite, whereas very few men have cellulite, like true cellulite. And that is an estrogen thing. So I actually kind of, as much as I hate it, see that as maybe a positive sign that my estrogen is finally coming back up, because I definitely have cellulite all of a sudden on the back of my thighs. Even though it's not like I've gained a lot of weight, I've gained a little bit of weight, not enough to like make you think that like, wow, that should have just piled on a bunch of cellulite. So maybe it's the estrogen. So that's what I'm going with. How's my recovery? And then talking about like where I'm at my mesocycle. I said it's my upper focus meso week 2. I had some pretty decent soreness at the end of last week. I mentioned that. Nothing that lasted more than 2 days. Quads, lats, and tris. Yeah, I hit my quads really hard on Saturday. They were sore. Right? On Friday. Like today is Saturday and it was not quads. So that had to be Friday of last week. Yeah, Friday. And tris, and my triceps were sore because I've just been hitting them a lot with like some new different angles, so they were pretty sore. This week, just some mild soreness in my lats, feeling well recovered, and I am. A little bit of soreness here and there, but nothing where I'd be like, wow, it's sore, or where I like really think about it. I just wiped coffee, I think, on my face. It's been that kind of day. But a good amount of soreness, meaning, or like a good amount of like feeling that the muscle's been worked well. So that's what I'm kind of going for. Exercise you're having issues with. I don't like doing chest flies. I feel like I may have mentioned that to him before, but I'm sure, yeah. So that was my only feedback on that. Anything else I should know is the next question: nutrition, schedule, personal. I said, I'm feeling a little anxious about being so soft at the Arnold, but dealing with it. I didn't realize how lean I stayed last off season, so I'm continuing to struggle a bit with getting bigger and softer. And that, I know, I have talked about this a lot on this vlog, but I really didn't realize it. I was looking back at pictures. I was looking for a specific picture and saw some of my check-in pictures from about this time last year, and I was a lot leaner. And I was getting ready to start prep. I mean, what really encouraged me to get into prep last year as early as I did was seeing the Arnold. And the Arnold is in 2 weeks, like 2 weeks from today, I'll be at the Arnold. So about this time last year, I was kind of in my mind, like feeling like I was maybe 8 weeks out from starting prep. And I still had like ab veins that I don't have right now, and just a lot of other things that I didn't have. And again, some of that could be like hormonal, right? Holding some water and some other things. But I am. My weight is higher. Like I am softer, and that's fine. But, when you're going to watch a bodybuilding competition and there's tons of really in shape competitors there, it does make you feel a little, kind of way of like not wanting to feel like you're out of place amongst your, competition peers. So, but like I said, I'm dealing with it. Blood sugar was back up after the one low reading last week. And that's something that, he and I are kind of, like I said, continuing to chat about. So disappointing, but, I know that that's part of my family history. So something I do monitor. My blood pressure is the next question. Blood pressure was up a little bit this week. It wasn't like it was stressful. It was just a lot. Like every day was just kind of like really overstimulating. So like by the end of the day, Thursday, after the day I sent my check-in, man, I was feeling kind of fried. Like just like my battery was drained because it had just been, every day was just jam-packed. Like I was having, several patients who were rightfully so, like very needy, they're in their immediate post-op period. So needy, just some other stressors, and just every day feeling like it was just long and really filled, and not feeling like I was able to like get caught up ever. So by Friday, I had a list of to-dos that was like, I literally had like several columns in my book because I had so much to do. And we were supposed to have an in-service training that day in our office. And thankfully, and I don't mean this in any negative way to the woman who came down with flu, but the nurse who was coming to do the training tested positive for influenza A the day before the training. And she offered to do it virtually. I'm like, you have the flu, like take a day off. Like what is wrong with our society where like she felt that much pressure from whatever, from internally, from her employer, from whatever, to like work with the flu. And like, absolutely not. I kind of saw it as a blessing. So yesterday I was able to get caught up on some things that made me feel just like mentally a lot better. And my resting heart rate last night was like 8 beats lower than it was the entire rest of the week. So like I said, I was kind of feeling fried. So I'm not surprised that my blood pressure was up a little bit when I took it on Thursday, because I was feeling, just tapped out. Water, steps, quality of sleep. I put my quality of sleep as an 8. It was pretty good this week. My energy recovery is a 9. I had, like I said, that mild little bit of soreness, but nothing crazy. Energy was an 8. I had good energy, even though I feel like I was just at some point running on fumes. Digestion was good. It was a 10. Stress, it was normal. Like I said, it was not a stressful week. It was just a lot. Appetite, 4 to 5, normal. Just like I was hungry for meals, but I wasn't starving, just normal. My glucose after waking, steps, any notes on supplements. I told him that my estrogen cream had arrived last Friday. Sleep routine is the same, 9-ish to 4-ish. Personal goals for the week. Be honest, areas you could do better in. So I put number 1 was finalize remaining Arnold travel arrangements. I need to book my parking, start packing, finish the cookie dough prep. I started that last weekend. Number 2, more spring cleaning. 3, mobility and stretching, exclamation point. And then number 4 is just posing and vacuums. I need to be better about practicing my vacuums and posing. As always, these are off-season tasks. They're going to probably stay pretty similar. Training sessions, pumps with the training sessions are pretty good. I put them at an 8, like they're good. How does the volume feel overall from a scale of 1 to 10? I put it as a 6, right? It's not crazy, but it's also not light. It's just kind of a little bit more than midline, which is good because I'm only on week 2. So like each week you increase your intensity so that your reps in reserve goes down. So that's about, I feel like, where I should be at on week 2. Anything else I should know about training? I said, nope. Knee pain was really bad over the weekend. Like it really was. Like it was bad, which was just weird, but basically gone as of today. Like it just kind of went away. So yeah. Any exercise that cause pain, be specific. I just wrote again that I don't like doing chest flies. And then my sleep score, my resting heart rate, and then pictures. So that was the check-in for this week. As I mentioned, Aaron is competing today. So I don't expect to get feedback until, maybe Sunday or Monday when he has time to kind of regroup. It's that day, the Thursday and Friday before the show. There's a lot going on. You got to get tanned. They got to get weighed in. There's a lot to do. So I totally get it. Yeah, so that was the week. Things I have coming up for this next week. It is the final week, a full week I have before leaving for the Arnold. Just kind of normal tasks to do. I need to finish the cookie dough. I need to go to the store and buy a couple things. I didn't realize I did not get raisins last week, which I need to make Cullen's favorite, which are oatmeal raisin. So I need that and need everything at Costco. Usually throughout the week I have a chance to like run to the grocery store, but it was so cold this week. Like below 0. Not that I only not feel like walking, but I also didn't even really feel like driving. So did not get any shopping in during the week. So I'm out of pretty much everything. So I need to do kind of a big enough shop to have stuff for the week. And I think that's it. So thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. I am excited to be going to the Arnold soon, and getting to see my coach on stage in person is going to be super awesome. And if any of you are going to be there, please feel free to look for me. As I mentioned, I'll be mostly hanging out at the Chase Iron. It was Chase Iron and Friends last time, but I think it's called Chase Iron Fitness this time. But either way, it is on the map, the Arnold map, if you are going to be there. It's pretty easy to spot us. There's a lot of really big bodybuilders there. So that'll be really fun. Yeah, and if you have any nutrition questions for me, leave those in the comments below too. I love talking about that kind of stuff, and you all know how much I love talking about food and TikTok hauls and anything else. So if there's something specific you want to hear about, let me know. And I will, of course, keep everyone updated when/if my fit model suit ships and all those kind of fun fit model-y things. So until then, please, please, please spread positivity and light to yourself and everyone around you. And I hope everybody had a love-filled, beautiful Valentine's Day this week. I hope it's not snowing where you are, or if it is, it's because you want it to be and you're at a ski area and you love it. But you are worthy, you deserve it, and I will see you all here next time.